Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today I've got a short little, very experimental, very strange and sort of artistic game called The Arm by a developer who likes to go by the name Tip and music by John Marwin. There's not really a whole lot of classification or categorization that I think really belongs with this one. It's just sort of what it is. So why don't we just jump right into things and we can start summarizing things as we see them. So I should mention a little bit of a seizure warning to this one. It's not the worst, but as things start to get later on, and I have played all the way through this one again by accident as I was trying to get the sound levels, and then I realized it's actually quite short. But the end was definitely pretty spastic. So if you're anyone who has a sensitivity to light and flashing colors, you may want to avoid the rest of this video. As you can see, the background's already kind of gotten that way. So we play as this mechanical arm who operates in a couple of facets. We've got a grabber on our left click, and then we've got rotate on our right click. So we can zoom this thing around in a circle off that same axis every single time, and then try and find the right angles to properly do what we need to do. And what do we need to do? It is probably going to be move these blocks from their starting position over to the fire on the left side. So we're going to see if we can maybe grab this sucker, and it's so close to me now, it's going to be a little tricky. The thing that seems to make the block fall out of your grasp is if you cross over the body of the crane arm thing. So if we grab this and then I touch it to myself, that usually makes me drop the block, although this time it didn't. I'm not really sure exactly what the collision issue is there, but it seemed to be the most consistent thing I could come up with was when that happened. That's why. It also might just be moving too quickly also does that. So we're grabbing these things, we're throwing them in the fire, and honestly, it's kind of hard to understand why we're doing this, but then things start to become a little bit more clear as we get a little further in. I'm wondering if this might not be... Oh, look, it got stuck on the edge there. If this game might actually just be some sort of a metaphor for the Industrial Revolution, perhaps. Sometimes in the world of wondrous, wasteless place. So there's a person shows up here who says how wonderful the technology of the arm would be. And then, of course, in true technological fashion, we're going to now grab this person and throw them in the fire. Honestly, because that's about all we can do. So, you know, it's got a little bit of like a little Inferno bent to it, although I'm not trying to spoil anything about that. I'm not actually sure what the ending of that game is. I haven't finished it. So all of a sudden, now that we've thrown the person in the flame, we are now imbued with human legs and are still this mechanical crane arm. So I wonder if the statement is that we've had some sort of a symbiosis moment here. We've taken the person and assimilated them into our own technological advancement. So now we find there are more blocks and there is an impediment. So what does technology do when there's another impediment? Well, it has to learn and adapt, right? So we're going to take these blocks, we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to hopefully not drop them constantly and try and get them into the furnace over here on the side. We are using WASD, by the way, in case you were wondering, for the walking moments. And we're going to turn around and dump this one in there as well. I have to say the music, quite nice. Definitely sets the tone, and things are definitely adequately creepy, but also sort of upbeat in a way. I think it's just a nice track, actually, to go along with things. In the background, despite being somewhat discordant in that there's like all these just random kind of things going by, it sort of sets the stage to possibly be what I was saying before. It feels like a sort of an Industrial Revolution thing going on with the 3 stages of parallaxing background. Is it 3? Yeah, it looks like 3. So there's a person, oh my god, what the hell is that thing? Leave me alone. So of course, being that all we really have is our arm here, we're going to go ahead and grab this person and do the same thing with them and drop them into the fire and see what new abilities. They always get stuck on that edge. Get in there. Alright, now we've got some flaps coming out of us, and that actually is going to allow us to fly. So now we are one of the creepiest things you could imagine. We're a crane grabber arm with human legs that can fly. So let that sink into your deepest, darkest nightmares and consider it. No, I have a wife and 7 kids. So now the last goal of our puzzles here is to get this character out of this little maze, and then that will be all there is for the arm to do. I guess then we have conquered all of humanity by these few representative figures. It's surprising how interesting of a statement artistically you can make with such a short bit of interactive media like this. And I would, again, hesitate to call this a game per se. I think this is definitely more in the, the art side of things, more of the experience side of things. And, I cover these sorts of things all the time. I think they're really cool. But don't get the wrong impression. This is not all that I like to do on the channel. I like a little bit of everything. But when I find something interesting like this, I'm happy to show it off. And let's just see if we can get this person out of this little impediment here. Just get around the edges. It's kind of hard to grab them. Sometimes they just fall out for what seems to be no reason. They must be getting stuck. Like the collision box is a little bit too large, or my grabber hand is flipping around in the wrong direction. Yeah, alright. If you're up on there, then you should be good to go. So we'll grab you. And yep, now you're out. Pretty much guaranteed going in the flame. Do. Oh, I dropped him. Or her. Bam. And the world falls apart. The crane falls off the bottom. What is the point of a car alarm if only thieves can hear it? And that is the philosophical question that we will leave you with. It's been a pretty short episode, I have to admit. I kind of wish there was a little bit more to this. I would like to see a little bit more of a developed narrative, perhaps. But there is also something to be said for brevity and making a point in a fairly succinct manner. It's something that I often have a hard time doing, so I value that when I find it in a piece of art like this. So hopefully you've enjoyed this fairly quick little rundown of the ARM. And if you want to go ahead and grab it, the link is going to be available right in the description of this video. It is totally free. You can go ahead and check out some of my other stuff over at my social media links, like my Twitter, my Facebook, my Twitch page where I stream live, and of course, indie-impressions.com, where we've got nearly 600 other episodes that I've covered games on in this series. So if you want to go find some other stuff, they're all neatly categorized and sorted for you over there. Feel free to stop by and see what you can find. There's guaranteed to be something for you. So with that, I will leave you for another day. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please do leave your support. Let me know what you think of this little experimental game/experience. I think we're going to definitely err on the side of experience on this one. And I would love to hear all of your opinions, good, bad, and different, and what you think maybe this concept could be applied to in a larger scope. What do you think the artistic statement here might have been? Do you think maybe I was onto something with the whole Industrial Revolution metaphor? I think possibly, but I'd like to hear your opinions as well. So do leave any support and comments. I'd love to talk to you, and I hope to see you back again tomorrow. New episodes are every single day, so thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you then. Have a good night.